We all have that one friend in office. Let's call him Shushil. Shushil in India basically means gentle. Sushil is gentle, humble, and a very hard-working employee. Sushil is basically that sort of an employee who never says no to anything. So the manager says, Sushil, we need that PPT to be sent to the client by EOD today. And Sushil will say, yeah, sure. The manager says, Sushil, can you ensure that you drop the minutes of meeting for the meeting that you were not even in? And Sushil will say, yeah, sure. The HR says, Sushil, can you plan a 3-hour mental well-being session today and also deliver it? And Sushil will say, yeah, sure. So basically, Sushil is that employee that if an organization gives that employee most taken for granted award, Sushil will probably receive it every single year. Sushil had worked very hard last year. He had ensured that he not only covers up for himself but for 3 more team members. He also handled a very difficult client. And by the way, he fixed the microwave as well, the office microwave, when it caught fire. Sushil had done it all. And then came the appraisal cycle. Sushil's hopes were high. He ironed his shirt for the first time in 3 months. And then Sushil's manager called him to his room. And he said, Sushil, you have been consistent. And we are giving you the same hike as last year. 4.0%. Not 4.51, not 4.1. The same as last year, 4.0%. The decimals felt more like a full stop to Sushil's career. Sushil was crushed. And that's when he called me. And he said, Rajdeep, what's the point? I work so very hard and still the same 4%. I listened to him, I empathized, and I said, no, it's very wrong. No, it shouldn't have happened. You have done all the bit. The organization is wrong. The manager is wrong. You deserve it all. And this conversation went on for like 2 hours. But then Sushil dropped the bomb by saying, Rajdeep, this year I will work the bare minimum. If it is 4%, let me just work the bare minimum. And that's when I realized that my friend needed a bit of a leadership lesson. So I put on my leadership hat, scrambled through the pages, and found out one thought which would be a coaching leadership style mixed with an innovative leadership style, and immediately asked Sushil, yeah, Sushil, that's one way of looking at it, that you would work the bare minimum. Or you could think of this as a gym membership. Gym membership? He said. I said, yeah, gym membership. You don't go to the gym to flex your muscles in front of the mirror. You go to the gym because it builds you internally. You grow as you go to the gym. For that matter, let me take an example of Charlize Theron, the actor. The actress would have given a flop movie and would have stopped acting, thinking that acting probably is not the right stream and the movie is flop. Then we may have never got the movie Bombshell. Same way, the cricketer A.B. de Villiers, had he succumbed to the poor umpiring decisions and thought that, oh, I shouldn't play cricket, we may have never gotten 51 centuries from A.B. de Villiers. Or for that matter, if I, Rajdeep, stop giving speeches on Toastmasters thinking that maybe the audience is not interested, well, let's say you all may have a better rested day. But it's not like that. It's our duty to continue doing the things, and maybe the result will come one particular day. Sushil heard me and said, "Yeah, Rajdeep, maybe what you say, you have a point. Let me think over it." And thanks for that. Leadership is not about handling people the same way every single time. Sushil, this time around, not only needed empathy or somebody to support him, but also someone to direct him in the right fashion and find that silver lining in the black cloud. Leadership sometimes also evolves how I can change my perspective or a friend's perspective for something that he can better achieve. Maybe there is nothing that can be done in a situation which is can't increase his amount that he has got, but it's important of how we can keep him going. For you, dear fellow Toastmasters, next time around when somebody like a Sushil reaches out to you and talks about that needed per increment that they have not got right, you probably need to put on your leadership hat, direct them in the fashion that you feel best done, so that they are not misdirected and they achieve the goal eventually in life that they plan to do. After all, your increment does not define your identity. Probably your rating would not define your reality. And as for me, when the reason why I told Sushil about these things is maybe because also of the fact that if I one particular day get a particular rating, which is 4% increment, and I call up Sushil, maybe Sushil will say, "Rajdeep, that's one way of looking at it, but probably you need to find that silver lining in the black cloud." Over to Toastmaster of the day.